Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here, Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we discuss psychological, emotional, and spiritual topics. We try to do that as often as possible. I am amazed at the number of things that we have going on in terms of new responses to videos and just awesome stuff. Please like, subscribe, comment below. We are 22 subscribers away from our August goal, and we're only halfway through the month. Thank you to all of you for that. Please help us get to that goal of 400 subscribers by August 31st. And then I'll set another goal, and I'm sure all of you wonderful people are going to hit it. Anyway, we're going to talk about the seven signs of emotional abuse. First of all, let's just do a quick definition. Emotional abuse is the use of a person's emotions for another person's personal gain. This happens in both families as well as romantic and platonic relationships. It can happen in any interpersonal dynamic, and it is unfortunate when it happens. And there are 7 signs that you may be or are being emotionally abused. So let's look at those. If your partner or friend or other person is overly critical of you consistently. Now, we all have disagreements. We have disagreements on the way things happen. We have disagreements on the way things should be done. We have disagreements on issues of morality, issues of connectiveness, and those are fine. However, over-criticism is belaboring a point beyond where it's useful and reiterating a point to the point of a person feeling overwhelmed, flooded with emotions, or humiliated. If your partner or friend is consistently doing this, they are emotionally abusing you in some way. Now, that doesn't mean that a heated conversation constitutes emotional abuse. Sometimes people lose their head, lose their bearings, do not know how to handle a situation, but it's the pattern and consistency and intensity of the critical behavior that determines the issue. Another thing is the want to have power or domination over a person. So that's the second thing I want to talk about, which is making you look bad, whether that's humiliating you in front of your friends, pointing out something in a social situation, or even in a private situation where it's like, see, I told you I was right, and you never listened to me, and. So I told you I was right alone by itself is not an emotionally abusive thing to say, right? Like sometimes one person's right, the other person is incorrect. That's fine. But when it gets to the point of I want you to feel badly, I want you to feel lower than me, I want to feel I have power over you because I've pointed out that you were wrong, that leads to emotional abuse because now you want negative emotions to be the result of the person's experience, and that is abuse in a nutshell. A desire for negative outcome because of a person's emotional experience is a definition for emotional abuse. The next is bullying, be that verbal or physical intimidation. This could be something as simple as chastising someone until they have an emotional reaction of screaming, crying, running away, literally leaving a situation, feeling they need to flee, feeling they aren't safe in their environment, feeling that they are, never going to get where they need to be. Another way of bullying is talking in circles until a person feels they need to surrender or acquiesce to a request. This is bullying. Physical domination, obviously, whether that be getting up in someone's face, not letting them leave a room, or any sort of physical abuse. That is emotional abuse as well, because the emotions that come with being physically dominated in any way can lead to emotional manipulation and abuse. The next thing in this is isolation. So an emotional abuser does not want you to have outside support, be that with friends, be that with family, be that with other people who share different views than them. The only people they're going to encourage you to talk with or interact with, if they do at all, are people who think or behave like them, or people they feel they can manipulate into believing as they do. Oftentimes, they want you to be emotionally dependent on them so that they can use your emotions and gaslighting of you, that is making you think you're crazy for what you believe, as a way of taking control. This can often lead to talking about, you don't have the right to call somebody, you don't have the right to email somebody, don't go out with your friends, don't do this, don't do that. And honestly, with isolation also comes a punishment scheme where if you do this thing or see this person or talk to this person I don't want you to do, I'm going to withhold something from you, be that affection, be that time, be that energy, whatever it is. There's always a negative consequence to that. So rejection is another way emotional abusers work. So usually the abuser, when they're getting their way, is extremely complimentary. They're charming. They are engaging. They're charismatic. They are always all over whatever you're doing in a positive way. And then when you question them or question the narrative of what they're trying to get you to think, believe, or feel, immediately that's turned off and they reject your ideas. They may even insult you verbally or non-verbally. Sometimes an insult can be something as simple as a shrug or other negative body language, but the insult is your opinion, your hard work, your artistic endeavor, whatever it is, no longer matters because you didn't do or say or believe the way they wanted, and that leads to negative things. They are manipulating to take advantage of you. So this is a huge one. And a lot of people, especially women in the, let's say, 18 to 35 demographic who might have had faulty parental relationships or an original wound related to a first relationship often will overgive. And so the archetype of the overgiver is the person who believes if I give enough, I will be loved. This is prime real estate for the emotional abuser. Because two things. Number one, the idea that you didn't do something right or the idea that you didn't do enough is something they can use at any given moment to make you question yourself and make you believe that you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, or whatever. The idea here is you are not enough, and they can take advantage of that to get you to push your boundaries physically, financially, sexually, mentally. There's all sorts of ways that making you believe you're not enough can be used to the advantage of the abuser. The last one is ultimately they're taking control of your thoughts, control of your words, control of how you dress, control of what you think, how you behave. The domination of control is the central piece of what brings an abusive person to the forefront. Remember, abusers are insecure most of the time. Abusers are unable to feel remorse a lot of the time, and the control that they get makes them feel better about their quality of life. The more controlling they are, the more hurt they are. Now, that doesn't mean you need to submit to them, but it means they don't have the capacity in many cases to understand the damage they're doing because they're dealing with their own inner wounds, and they really, honestly, don't care about you unless they're getting ahead or getting over. So those are the things that it's worth looking at. If you're dealing with emotional abuse, please seek counsel, be it with a psychologist, psychiatrist, coach, somebody, anybody really who can help you gain perspective on who you really are and your own value, because until that happens, you're more than likely going to stay in that cycle. And when I mean that cycle, it means other relationships that are similar and feel guilty about being in that relationship at all. So until next time, I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.